evening, Red Sox fans. How you doing? Good morning if you are watching this tomorrow morning. The Red Sox are red hot, ladies and gentlemen. They are scoring runs aplenty right now. They've now scored 68 runs since the beginning of the Red Series. I'm just saying, man, this offense, they're looking A-OK without a certain someone. He was actually Rafi Devers. He was in the news a little bit, but a little smidge today. People were talking about him, but we're not talking Rafi. This Red Sox offense looks completely fine without Mr. Devers. Another rout tonight, 10-3. They're now 48-45. They're 7-1 in their last 8 games. Game and a half behind the Rays, who are a little cold as of late, 3-7 in their last 10. Great timing. Got a weekend series coming up right before the All-Star break. Big implications for the wild card race. Got the Red Hot Sox against the ice cold Rays. Not bad. Not bad if you ask me. But star of the show, I'm just going to reveal my player of the game tonight. We're going to get that right off the bat here. Brayan Bello. Brayan Bello looking absolutely amazing. Actually, was he? Yes, it was 10 strikeouts, I believe. Let me verify that. Was that 10 strikeouts? I believe it was 10. Yes, it was 10. Just wanted to make sure on that. First career complete game for Brayan Bello. Phenomenal performance tonight. I love me a complete game, man. We're all we talk about, it feels like these days, is exit velo, everything offense, right? Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, you get the drill, right? It feels nice to talk about some pitching, all right? I feel like the art of pitching has kind of gone by the wayside a little bit here over the last few years, and I hope Major League Baseball, over the next few years, they try to make the starting pitcher special again. And Brayan Bello, he looked special tonight. Ran into a little trouble in the 9th inning, but that's okay. He had like an 80-run lead by that point. But a complete game, 4 hits allowed, 2 earned, 10 strikeouts on the night, allowed the home run to Hunter Goodman there in the 9th inning. Phenomenal, man. Phenomenal, right? He came back earlier in the year. He missed some time. Started running into some bumps a little bit. Wasn't going very deep into games. Remember we were talking not too long ago that Brayan Bello, he couldn't get into the 5th inning. And here he is now pitching a complete game. It's funny, how we all react to things in the moment. And then you sometimes you just need to let things just work themselves out. And Brayan Bello, he has absolutely put the work in, and he's been looking absolutely great as of late, picking up the win tonight. First career complete game for Brayan Bello. Gotta love it. When was the last complete game for the Red Sox? Let me know in the chat. Let's see if someone can pull that up. I think we had one last year. A couple last year, maybe. I can't fully remember off the top of my head, though. But Brayan Bello, looking amazing. And this offense tonight, once again, man, this offense, we were all getting on to Fatsy a little while ago, right? We're talking about how the Red Sox, they're just striking out left and right, swinging out of their shoes. Sure, exit velos looked pretty good, but you weren't really putting together just sound offense, right? A big lack of a complete game when it came to the offense, right? Situational hitting, putting the bat on the ball, in certain spots, striking out with runners in scoring position, not doing anything with all the opportunities that you had. And it feels like as of late, sure, it is the Rockies, it is the Nationals, I get it. But they're showing you what they can do. And yes, they're going to have to do this against good teams. That is going to be the real test moving forward. But they are showing you what they can do, man. And there is a lot to like with this offense right now. And big nights for Romy Gonzalez. This guy, Romy Gonzalez, man. Like I said last night, I've been saying this over the past couple of episodes now. Are the Red Sox, do they need to make an upgrade at first base? I just feel like right now, again, it's going to be something the Red Sox are going to have to discuss. Is this something that's sustainable over the course of the season? I mean, right now, it looks pretty good to me, right? A platoon of Romy and Abraham Toro there. I don't know, man. I feel like it's kind of one of these things where, is it a situation where do you need to fix something that's not broke? Because it is absolutely working right now. Romy Gonzalez, this guy's on fire. And you know what? We're actually going to pull up here the numbers for Romy. Updated numbers hitting 338, a 954 OPS on the year, 4 homers, 26 RBIs. I tweeted this out during the game. I have to think right now Romy Gonzalez is one of the more underrated players in all of Major League Baseball. Sure, he's really he's basically a platoon guy at this point. He's only going up against lefties, but when he has these opportunities, this guy just goes to town. He does not let you down against left-handed pitching. It seems like every single time this guy's coming through. I even saw a couple of people on social media tonight saying, hey, you know what? Let's get this guy a couple of opportunities against right-handed pitching. I mean, I don't know. Do you? Do you do that? Do you maybe give him a shot at some point? I don't know. But against lefties, this guy's tearing it up. He went 3 for 4 tonight, had the triple. And let's also point out a couple other guys. Trevor Story having himself a big night here. Trevor Story, OPS above 700 now, 705 OPS, 15th home run tonight, 14 stolen bases on the year. Trevor Story, there's going to be all the naysayers out there about Mr. Trevor Story. But if you're looking at the rankings here, when it comes to Major League shortstops, Trevor Story is tied for second among all Major League shortstops in home runs with 15. He is tied with Dansby Swanson. But that's some pretty good company. We all know Ellie De La Cruz, that guy's one of the best in baseball. Francisco Lindor, one of the best in baseball. Dansby Swanson, a solid player. Gives you a great glove, right? But Trevor Story, he's right up there with these guys, man. You got to love what he's doing as of late. And taking a look here at the numbers, I mean, my goodness, this guy's off the charts. A 793 slugging over his last 7 games. He's got a 586 slugging over a larger sample in his last 116 ABs. 8 home runs during that time. I mean, this guy's on fire. I don't know, man. Trevor Story. You got to love it. Seti, he stays hot. He came through tonight. Had himself a pretty decent game. OPS up to a 774. We are on 800 OPS watch, ladies and gentlemen. Seti, this guy, he just keeps hitting. Why is this guy not at the All-Star game? I don't know. I don't get it. Roman Anthony had himself a pretty decent night tonight, contributing as well. 754 OPS. Listen, when it comes to Roman, and I don't mean to bring up Rafi. I know. I apologize. I feel like I keep kind of going back to that talking point. But I think this was a big part of why they decided to make that move. Because I think they really trusted what Roman could do for this lineup. Even though he was a rookie coming up. The guy was so poised down at AAA. Just mashing down at AAA. And obviously, the competition, compared to the major leagues at AAA, it's, not even close, but he was dominating down there. And I think the Red Sox probably thought, you know what? Roman, sure, it might take him a couple of weeks to, really get comfortable in at the major league level, but he's showing you right before your eyes, man. He's looking so poised up there. He's just contributing. It's funny because he's really putting his stamp there, but I feel like he's doing it quietly at the same time. Just a guy that goes up there, no nonsense, getting the job done. You got to love that with Roman Anthony, man. On base up to a 358. That, to me, is such a good sign of great things to come. A 358 on base in his first 91 at-bats at the major league level. Sure, we got to wait for a larger sample size here, but just great, man. You got to love what everyone's doing here. Everything is looking quite dandy. We are going to get into the post-game breakdown here. We're going to talk Brayan Bello, what was successful about him tonight. We'll break down the offense. We'll go inning by inning. And we also have, speaking of Roman, we had a little something about Roman today before the game. I think you could maybe say, it could mean this, it could mean that. Maybe a little bit of both. I'll give you my thoughts on what we saw with Roman Anthony before the game today. A couple of roster moves as well. Going to let you know about that. I see a lot of familiar faces here in the chat. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Moose, Joe, Nick, Lawson, Zachary. How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Brett, how you doing? Lawson, thank you for coming in tonight. Everyone, if you can, just hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're going to get into the post-game breakdown, but we do have a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
AJ, we're in Vegas right now, and I have not had a lot of time to eat during the day. So
No.
what could we do?
I would love a Huel right now. Vanilla Huel would go down perfectly because when I have to skip meals because I'm too busy doing what you do in Vegas, which is not eat, I need a quick replacement, and Huel is the perfect thing.
I'm a chocolate guy myself. It's got the chocolate milkshake vibes to it. If you miss a meal, Huel can be your answer. If you're looking for a big protein boost, Huel can be your answer. So go check it out. Our friends at Huel are part of today's sponsorship. They've got you covered, spelled Huel. That black edition is a complete meal to feel full, focused, and ready for your day. Little prep, basically no prep. Shake it, open it. Huel has sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it's your turn to try it. So go to Huel.com/foul and get Huel today with the exclusive offer for the FT fam of 15% off for new customers if you use the code, you know it, FOUL. Minimum $75 purchase. Get after it.
All righty, let's get into it, shall we? We got to talk about Brayan Bello, first career complete game. This guy was on fire right out of the gate. 7 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. As he went deeper into the game, he was getting more contact outs, but I mean, you couldn't really do anything against Bello tonight. We'll get to the 9th inning here, but good mix of pitches here tonight. Leading the way with the sinker, lots of sweepers, good mix of four-seamers as well. Mixed in some changeups. When it came to the sinker, he was attacking all over. Right, he was looking at all the quadrants with his sinker tonight. He was going in on lefties, away from righties. Looking good, man. Looking good. He was all over the place. He was going low with it, high with it. Sinker was looking good. Sweeper had 6 whiffs on the night. He's keeping those down for the most part, going away from the righties, going in on the lefties as well. The four-seamer, he was staying up in the zone for the most part to help set him up with the breaking stuff and the changeup. The changeup looked pretty solid here tonight, and Cora was talking in the postgame saying that's the best his changeup has looked. And the numbers, they back that up. He got 5 whiffs on the changeup tonight. He had a bit more spin on the changeup tonight compared to the yearly average. He was getting more vertical drop on it as well. It looked pretty good, right? The numbers show it. The eye test showed it. Everything was looking good, man. He just looked very comfortable out there tonight. Sure, ran into a little trouble throughout the night, but nothing crazy. 4th inning, Hunter Goodman had his number there tonight. Had a base hit off of him in the 4th inning. He had a wild pitch right after that, but whatever. You got a big double play in the 7th inning that helped him out. Goodman with the home run in the 9th inning. Ended the dreams of a complete game shutout. It is what it is. But what a huge, huge start for Brayan Bello, especially, yes, they have been scoring a lot of runs as of late, but just to give this bullpen, which worked very hard in the month of June, right? They were, especially guys like Greg Weissert, for crying out loud. This guy, Brennan Bernardino, these guys felt like they were pitching every day at some points. And, for Brayan Bello to go all 9 tonight, give that bullpen a bit of a rest. Gotta love it, man. Those bullpen guys, they're probably feeling quite happy tonight. Got a bit of a night off. They got to hang out in the bullpen tonight. So Brayan Bello, he looked amazing, but this offense just staying red hot. And, funny enough, it was a quiet night for the offense for the most part. Till the 6th inning, really. 4th inning, they had a bit of a chance. Romy, Rob, base hits. Couldn't come through. Story had a line out. He got robbed by Ryan Ritter at shortstop. Romy, I believe he was running on the hit, and there was nothing he could do. He was so far off. He got doubled off at second base. But 6th inning, Red Sox completely woke up, man. Unbelievable. Romy had the base hit. Roman with a walk. Actually, before the Romy base hit, Eaton had the strikeout, and then after the Roman walk, Refsnyder struck out, so they did a lot of damage here with 2 outs. Story with an RBI bloop that made it 1-0. Seti with a double staying hot, 3-0. Duran with a base hit. He had a good night tonight. That made it 4-0. But then the 7th inning, they just piled it on. And they did some damage against, the Rockies. It is the Rockies, but one of their best pitchers, I'd actually say their best pitcher this year out of the bullpen, Jake Bird. They really got to Bird here tonight. Meyer got on. Romy had the triple that made it 5-0. Goodness gracious, he's red hot. Roman with a base hit made it 6-0. Trevor Story with his 15th home run on the year. That made it 9-0. Duran adding on another home run there. And Duran, you know what? He's actually been a bit hot himself. He was actually talking post-game here. Over the last 7 games, hitting .346 with a .654 on the slugging. So he's starting to get himself going here over the last 15 games. There's a .545 on the slugging, a couple of home runs. You know, still striking out a little bit too much for my liking. I'd like to see him try to get on base a little bit more, try and draw a couple of more walks. But it is what it is with Jarren Duran. He's producing lately. You got to love it. So, again, offense stays red hot. Feels like they've scored like 800 runs over the last week and a half or so. Got to love it, man. And like I said in the intro, a lot of people were, and even myself, I think maybe even a couple of times, Peter Fatsi, you know, we're thinking, oh man, we gotta get rid of the hitting coach. You know, we gotta make some sweeping changes across the coaching staff. And I don't know, man, something is just different with this team, you know. And I said it. It's funny because I think Alana Rizzo was on the post game tonight on Nesson. And I think she even said, like, what has changed with this team over the last 5 weeks? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, is she trying to get Will Middlebrooks here to maybe bring up Raffy a little bit? Listen, I think it's, you know, sure. Could you look to that for like a headline of what's different with this team? Yeah, I think it's an easy little headline to make. But no, I just think at the end of the day, these guys have just gotten dialed in. I don't know. Maybe they woke up a little bit after the trade, right? Oh man, Raffy, he got traded. Oh man, I gotta start picking up my game a little bit. If he got traded, then well, I gotta start dialing myself in. Maybe I could be on the move next, right? So I don't know. Who knows what exactly is going into play here, but they are making better contact as of late, better quality contact. They've been very good with the exit velo all year, but they're just hitting more line drives as of late. Just squaring up on the ball better. They're just looking good here, right? Again, it's the Rockies. It's the Nationals. You know, the Reds, you know, they've been kind of up and down this year, but whatever. This is what you got to do against the bad teams. You know, yes, I want to see more of this, but we have seen it against the Yankees not too long ago. I know Raffy was, you know, with the Yankees too, with the Red Sox when they're playing the Yankees. But still, you know, you've been seeing these guys really hitting here over the last month or so. So you got to love it. You know, even when they, you know, dropped a couple in San Fran, they were still putting runs up on the board. This offense is looking good, man. They're all looking dialed in. You got to love it. You got to love it. But let's move on here. Let's move on. And we are going to talk about game 3. We got a little something on Roman. Something defensively with Roman. I'll get to that in just a second, but we do have one more sponsor. I'll be right back.
Hey, let's do a little player spotlight thanks to Arena Club. AJ, give me a player this season that you think is underrated and you might want to try and grab his card.
James Wood. I don't know that he's underrated, but Washington Nationals superstar in the making, and the first slab pack I ever opened had him in it. His rookie card, and the value is only going to go up and up and up. And I'm not going to sell it quite yet, Scott. I'm going to hold on to it because after he continues to hit big homers and put up the stats, make all-star teams, it's going to get more expensive for someone to buy for me.
This is his first full season in the majors. Keep that in mind. I think he's underrated. He's on a Nationals team that's meh. Not getting enough attention. He might hit underrated 40 homers.
When he makes the all-star team this year, they're not going to be underrated.
That helps. He's been intentionally walked 4 times in a game. Anyway, if you want to try and find a Wood rookie card, go check out slab packs on Arena Club. And right now you can get 20% off your first slab pack, or if you just want to go with a card purchase, go to arenaclub.com/FOUL. Use code FOUL. If you buy, sell, trade, collect, go for it.
All righty. Tomorrow's pitching matchup, we got Antonio Senzatella against Lucas Giolito, who's been red hot himself on the mound. But before I actually get to this one, we do have a couple of roster moves to get into here. Now, Yoshida, it looks like he's going to be with the team tomorrow. I can't wait to see Masataka Yoshida, man. I miss that man. He's been doing all the sightseeing. It's nice to see him come back from his adventures. But Richard Fitz getting optioned back down to the minor leagues. Isaiah Campbell coming back up. And the reason with Richard Fitz getting optioned back down is because Hunter Dobbins is going to be coming back here. So Richard Fitz looked great last night. Let's see how long he ends up staying back down at AAA. But, hey, he's going down there on a good note, right? Continue working on some things. But Campbell, another arm for the bullpen, and Liam Hendriks getting moved to the 60-day IL. I think we have seen probably the last of Liam Hendriks. When we were last seeing him on the mound, the velo was looking all right, but I don't know. It didn't have that same bite to it, right, that we'd seen a few years ago when he was with the A's, with the White Sox. Just still, it lacked that something. I don't know, man. I'm wondering if, he is dealing with some kind of an injury or whatever it is. I don't know, but something just didn't look fully right with him. And I think at this point, the Red Sox, they just have better options. It is what it is. Liam Hendriks, I mean, it's amazing what that guy's been able to do here over the last couple of years, overcoming cancer. But, when you're just trying to win ball games, I think the Red Sox, they just have better options at this point. And with Isaiah Campbell, I remember a lot of us, we were high on Isaiah Campbell when they brought him in a couple of years ago, or last year. But down in the minors right now at AAA, just under 40 innings pitched, 30 appearances so far. He had decent numbers. ERA at a 3.89, FIP at a 3.75, 7.5 strikeouts per 9, though. Yeah, he's all right? He's just going to be with the bullpen, really, until, gives him another arm for tomorrow in case they need it. And then you'll see Hunter Dobbins back here quite soon. But let's get to the pitching matchup for tomorrow. Senzatella against Giolito. Now let's pull up the numbers with Senzatella. Now, like I told you last night, Kyle Freeland, I told you all last night in the game 2 preview, Kyle Freeland wasn't going to be a pushover by any means. The metrics looked a little bit better with Freeland. And yeah, they eventually got to him tonight. But, you saw that the Red Sox, they were having a little bit of trouble figuring him out. But with Antonio Senzatella, holy cow. This should be, what did Dennis Eckersley say on the post game that one time years back? What did he say again? They just ate your lunch, or what did he say? I can't remember the exact quote. And he's like, "Get out of here!" Whatever he said, I can't remember. But that always makes me laugh every time I see it. That's what they need to do here with Senzatella tomorrow. ERA at a 6.57. FIP is not looking any better, really, at a 5.34. Under 5 strikeouts per 9. A home run and a half per 9. I mean, my goodness. Go to town on this man. I mean, he's going to throw a lot of four-seamers. He's going to mix in some sliders. Listen, this should be a cakewalk tomorrow. This needs to be a sweep. Get the sweep done. I'm just saying. But all right, we still have some time here. If you are with me on Nesson, we are going to be wrapping up here soon. But we do have one bit of news to talk about here. And, sorry, I forgot to talk about Giolito. Well, we all know how good Giolito's been pitching as of late. He's been keeping the approach rather simple, going up with the velo, going down with the off speed, mixing in some breaking stuff. He's looking great. Giolito, everything's been looking crisp with him. The velo's been looking good lately. Changeup's been getting some good tumble on it. Breaking stuff's had some nice bite to it. I expect Giolito here to just keep on keeping on, man. So, hoping for the sweep tomorrow. Let's get to the news here. Well, we have a little bit of, you might be asking, Robbie, why are we watching Roman Anthony taking some fly balls, taking some balls off of the monster? Well, just in case you forgot, the green monster is out in left field. Probably not that big of a deal, right? He's just getting used to it, which that's kind of my thinking behind it, where it mixes in a little bit. Where, hey, you know what? You'd like him to play some left field at some point. You always like to have the versatility. At some point, yeah, you'd like him to be ready to play left field, just in case, right? Got to get used to the monster. The way the balls like to carry him off the monster. Yeah, it's a different kind of left field out there. So you want Roman to be prepared. It's good to see that he's getting the work. However, I'm just saying here, it is left field where a certain someone named Jarren Duran has been playing pretty much all the left field for the Red Sox this year. And, is this maybe overreacting a little bit to think maybe a trade could be on the way? I don't think it's completely overreacting. I think it's probably a little bit of both. You want Roman to get some work out there, but maybe there could also be some talks heating up. And I did share with all of you last night that I've been receiving word personally that there have been talks. There have been some discussions happening. Teams like the Mets have been getting involved. Teams like the Twins have been getting involved, according to little birdies that I trust very much. I wouldn't be surprised if teams like the Phillies would be getting involved. Maybe the Dodgers. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about those guys. But I wouldn't be surprised because there, could be upgrades to be made with those teams. I don't know. Maybe the Guardians, they need more power in the lineup. Maybe the Royals, they need some bats. I don't know. But you are hearing the rumblings. Now, I will say things have died down a little bit over, since last night, since yesterday afternoon. I just find the timing of all of this very interesting. But if you are watching with me on Nesson, I do have to wrap it up right there. If you want to catch the rest of the show, come on over to Massa Territory on YouTube and hear the rest of what I got to say. But if you are watching on Nesson, thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow for post-game coverage. So here on YouTube, I'm going to wrap it up here, give you my final thoughts. I think it's, again, probably a little bit of both, You want Roman to get some practice out there. You want him to get some reps out there. It is what it is. At some point, even if you end up keeping Duran, right? If you need to play Roman out there a day, well, you'd like for him to be ready. But I think there's also something brewing in the air. And, I get back to the Alex Bregman thing too. Bregman saying, I might come back before the All-Star break, maybe the series before, series after. Well, why not just come back for the Rays? This is a pretty big matchup. Don't you want to be at full strength? And yeah, I know. And then people are going to say, oh, well, the Red Sox, they're taking their time. They don't want him to get hurt again. Well, listen, I don't think he had more than a grade 2 quad strain, which that is about 4 to 8 weeks of recovery time. He is right there, and he's been telling all of us he feels great. He's been ramping up the running. Everything's been looking good. Cora's saying he's looking good. So to me, it just seems like Bregman is fine, but I look at where he said, oh, maybe the series before, maybe after the All-Star break against the Cubs. But again, I think, well, okay, it's the Rays here. I would like to have Alex Bregman back on the team. But then I wonder, could that end up being because of maybe a possible roster spot? If they could move Duran or whoever, that could open up something. It depends on what you would get back for Duran. That comes into play too, right? But I think a part of that is coming into play too. Because if, let's say you move Duran tonight, tomorrow, whatever, and let's say you just get back some, let's say you get back prospects or whatever. I'm not sure, guys that you put on the 40-man roster. I don't know. But let's say moving Duran created a roster spot. Well, that's an easy way for Bregman to come off the IL. So you wouldn't have to move anyone else, right? So I wonder if that comes into play a little. I don't know, right? Of course, if you bring back Bregman, you could just, send Nate Eaton down, of course, right? But maybe they want to see a scenario where, if they're going to move Duran, well, you can keep Nate Eaton on the roster and then you can still bring back Bregman. I don't know. I don't know how they would want to do it. But I just wonder if that is something. Probably not, but maybe. So it's just the timing of everything. It just feels kind of weird. Massa coming back. Bregman saying maybe last series or maybe the Cubs. I don't know. Roman playing left field. The stars are aligning here, ladies and gentlemen, along with all the talks that we've been hearing about, that I've been told personally. There's stuff, and it's just the timing of everything all happening around the same time. It's a little weird to me. Hands up. I'm just saying. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening here. But in the end, I'm glad Roman's getting some time out there, getting used to the monster. It never hurts. So I'm going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap it up. But we do have a super chat. We do have a super chat here. Let's pull up the super chat. And we got Lawson. How we doing, Lawson? $1.99. Thank you. Duran over Massa. Well, here's the thinking. Of course, Duran, the player, he is going to bring more to the table. He is going to obviously give you more speed, right? There's no doubt about that. And he's been hitting, pretty well here over the last couple of games. The problem is that you are not going to be able to move Massa. You are stuck with Massa unless you want to DFA him. The value on the contract is completely underwater. That's like if you go get a car and then, one of the tires blew off or something happened with the engine. Well, let's just say the engine, right? That's more of a long-term thing. Well, that all of a sudden there's that is really underwater at that point. If you got that car on a loan and now the engine's busted, whatever, something. I don't know cars very much, but you know what I mean. It's an underwater contract. So you're going to have a hard time moving that. And teams know, obviously, that, yeah, sure, he's a guy that's a pretty solid hitter, but he lacks the power. He lacks positional versatility. He's really just a DH at this point. Maybe can play a little bit of left field. You're not going to get anything for him. You're going to have to pay a lot of his contract to get him moved. Or you just DFA him. And I don't think the Red Sox want to do that. I think they still see value in the bat of Masataka Yoshida because he is going to give you a good at-bat. He's not going to strike out. He's going to draw the walks. He's going to be a pretty productive player when he's healthy. Now, Duran, yeah, he brings more to the table, but Duran, because he's a lot cheaper than Yoshida, he has 3 more years of cost control, right? Arbitration. He has more surplus value, right? You are going to be able to get more in return for Jarren Duran at this point. You are not going to be able to move Massa. Simple as that. There's no way. Now with Duran, you could possibly bring back something of value. You could even bring back possibly some major league ready talent to help you out now. For example, let's say you made a phone call to the Twins. Hey, Twinkies, we know you're maybe trying to, work out some things. What do you got? Well, I don't know. Maybe someone like Yohan Duran, Griffin Jacks. Maybe a package around one of those guys. Bring back a closer, some prospects. Now you can move Chapman somewhere else. Well, now you still have a closer, and then you got some prospects. You know what I mean? So, you're not going to get that with Yoshida. Simple as that. That's where the economics come into play here. The baseball economics, the money, the contract. Right? Yeah, of course. We all agree Duran is going to be the better player. But he's also the better asset. Right? Yoshida is not. So, yeah, you could easily just say, all right, we'll get rid of Massa. All right, well, are you going to pay him to go, do some more sightseeing or go play for another team? Teams do not want to pay players playing for other teams. That's simple as that. It might sound easy in our head. Oh, just pay, $5-10 million per year if he just goes to the Dodgers, whatever. Pay a little bit more there. Teams don't want to do that. They don't want to pay players to go play for another team. They want to pay the player to play for their team. Simple as that. So, yeah, maybe MLB The Show, it's not that big of a deal. Oh, whatever. It's fine. But no, teams don't want to do that. So, Duran, you're going to be able to get back more. You're going to be able to get back more value. And most of all, it creates roster flexibility, right? Roman can go to left. Willier. At this point, I don't think Willier is going anywhere. I mean, he's so good defensively out in right field, gives you power. I mean, leads the Red Sox in home runs. He's got a lot of control left. He's got 4 more years of control, and he's cheap. So, yeah, Willier Abreu has more value. And then Seti, obviously, Seti's not going anywhere at this point. So, yeah, Yoshida, you can't move. So what's the next best option? It's Jaren Duran. Simple as that. You're creating more flexibility. You want Roman to be playing every day. You're seeing what Roman can do. He is absolutely ready, and then some. Roman in this lineup every day is going to be very good moving forward. And with Duran, if he can bring you back some pitching, here, even another example, let's say maybe you do something, let's say the Twins again. Let's say the Twins who, they're really struggling here lately. Maybe they're already looking here to the next year or two. Maybe you could even look at someone like Joe Ryan, right? The Red Sox. My preference for the Red Sox when it comes to trading Duran would be to bring back a starting pitcher to go behind Garrett Crochet. A starting pitcher, a starting pitcher 2. Someone like Joe Ryan, I think, fits that mold. You would have to give up more than Duran to get someone like Joe Ryan. But if you could pull that off, I think that would be amazing, honestly. If you could turn Duran into a starting pitcher 2, that's worth it, in my opinion. I think you should. That's what I've been saying here from the get-go. I've been, mentioning maybe ideas of bringing back a closer. I would rather them go get a 2. That's just me. So I see what you mean. Duran over Abreu. Well, I agree. He's the better asset. Or Duran over Massa. I agree. He's the better asset. So, Richie. What do we got here, Richie? $2 from Richie. Thank you, Richie. Do you think they consider trading Abreu? I really don't. I don't. I mean, I think if a team blows you away, you got to, be open to everything. But I just think he brings a lot of value right now. And with the amount of control that he has, the defense that he brings to the table in a tough right field, I think you keep Abreu at this point. Lawson, once again, we paid similarly at money for him with Sale. Well, that's a bit of a different situation, right? Where with Sale, he was more injury prone. You took a chance, helping kind of clear some salary off the payroll here. It's not really the same thing with Massa. You were able, yes, you paid a little bit with Sale, but, you were able to kind of lower yourselves under that CBT or get lower there a little bit at the time. Timing is also a different thing. The Red Sox are in a different place at that point. You just saw what they did this past offseason. They went out and spent money. So they were trying to set themselves up for stuff later on where, but then again, you were getting something back in Vaughn Grissom where you weren't sure at the time what you were going to get, but, you thought, okay, well, maybe this guy could be an everyday second baseman, possibly. Well, he wasn't able to, live up to it. But you were able to clear Chris Sale's salary, and you just moved on, right? I think at the time, it made sense, because the Red Sox felt like they just weren't fully there yet, and they thought, all right, let's just clear some money. Let's get back something for Vaughn, or get back something with Vaughn, and then, see what happens, So I think it's a bit of a different situation there, personally. This is how I look at it. Because if you're getting rid of Massa, you're not going to get anything in return. You're going to have to eat. And that's another thing, too. With Sale, what did they eat? Like $17 million? I think they ate that. But with Massa, you're going to have to eat way more than that. Way, way more than that. Not even close to what you had to eat for Sale, right? Because he was 1 year away. So man. For Massa, what is Massa even owed? Let me pull this up here. Massa is owed. He's got 2 more years here, making 18.6 per year, or 18 million AAV. So that's 36 million total. You're going to have to eat a lot of that to get that in return. So yeah, Chris Sale, what was it, 17 that they ate? You'd have to eat way more with Massa here. One more here. One more. Lawson, I appreciate the support, my friend. I appreciate the support. All right. Think Garcia replaces Reffy when he retires. Garcia. Oh, Yo Stinson? Yeah, wait, hold on. Oh, okay. I'm thinking Raffy in my head. I'm like, what? Okay, I see. Ref Snyder. I hope Ref Snyder doesn't retire. I mean, that guy's been amazing. Maybe. Possibly. Yo Stinson, man. He's been great. That's been great, man. I can't wait for him to come up. I don't know. I think he has potential to be an everyday guy. Could he end up being a trade asset here? I hope they keep him. I want them to keep the password. I'm just saying, man. I don't want to see that guy go anywhere. Absolutely not. I want the password in Boston. So, but at the end of the day, if the Red Sox, if they can go land themselves something good out there, and maybe it takes someone like the password. I don't know. Maybe they give up Franklin Arias there too. I don't know. I think anything could be on the table here at this point. We'll see. We'll see. But everybody, I'm going to wrap it up right there. We got enough done here tonight. Enough to talk about here tonight for a good show. I want to thank you all for stopping by. If you can on the way out, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you for the super chats. I really do appreciate that. All the familiar faces coming in tonight. Mason, Wyatt, how you doing? Doc, how we doing? Connor, Moose, thank you guys for stopping by. Lawson, thank you for the support tonight. And one more time, Richie, thank you for your super chat as well. Everybody, I'm out of here. I'm kind of tired of. I might sound brain dead right now. I've been doing a lot of mock draft work. We got the draft coming up this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if anyone's remembering that. We have the draft, and I've been working on my mock draft for like the past 2 days here, so my brain is just fried at this point. I'm going to be coming out with that on my main channel. Hopefully, I don't know if I'll be able to do it tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe tomorrow. Probably not. Thursday, the latest, I would like to have my mock draft out. We are going to be live on the main channel on Sunday. So if you do want to watch live coverage of, well, you won't be able to watch the draft, but I'll be reacting to the picks. So if you want to come watch that with me, join me Sunday. We're going to have a good old time. We'll be watching every pick in the first round. But the Red Sox, they got the 15th pick. I'm still up in the air on what the Red Sox are going to do with that. I'm still up in the air. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they could go a few different ways. This is a weird draft, by the way. Weird draft. You don't have like the Paul Skeens kind of guys. I mean, last year's draft, that was full of talent at the top. This is more of a deeper draft. You don't have a lot of head-turning names. That could make it very interesting, right? I think, and I think the Red Sox, this could actually be a good draft or a good situation for them, because with Craig, I mean, they were able to find a lot of guys in the draft last year, right? Look at Peyton Tolley. They got him in the second round. He's looked great, right? Brandon Clark, they got him. Just saying here, this could be a good draft for the Red Sox. I'm excited for it. So, again, we'll be watching that on Sunday. Come join me. I think it's at 6 Eastern. So, but yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow, though, for post-game coverage. Everyone, go have yourself a good rest of your night, and I'll talk to you next time.